Hi, the Paper Craftsman here. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to import and manipulate DXF and SVG files using Cricut Design Space. Specifically, how to import and use the files I provide so you can cut out all the parts you need to build the papercraft models I've designed. This video is aimed at people who are new to Cricut or maybe just want to make sure that they are setting up the files correctly before cutting. For simplicity, I'm going to be assuming you are using a Cricut. If you are using something else, the basic principles should be the same, but your command names might be different. Let's get started. So to start, while on the canvas screen, click Upload. Then, click Upload Image. As it says, we can drag and drop from a folder or browse for the files. For my models, I provide both DXF and SVG files, but both will work here, so use your preference. For this video, I'll be importing my bee papercraft pattern, and I'll be using the DXF format. When you upload a file, you'll be brought to this screen. From here, you can rename it or add tags. In this case, I don't need to do either since everything I need to identify it is in the file name already. So I'm just going to finish by clicking Upload. Repeat this for each cut, draw, and score file in the pattern. One thing you should be aware of is that sometimes they appear as a big black rectangle. Don't worry about it, that's fine, it just does that sometimes. Once you have all the files uploaded, you can insert them into your canvas. Depending on how big the project is and how powerful your computer is, you may want to split up the pages between multiple project files. For example, if you had a 9-page model and an older computer, you may want to try splitting it up into 3 project files and only do 3 pages per project. Just something to be aware of if you're having trouble with load times either now or later when you are cutting out the project. Now that we have all the files imported to our canvas, we need to sort them and align them. What I like to do first is collapse all the groups on the right hand side here and double check I have all the files needed, or to see if I have any duplicates. For the bee, I should have cuts 1 to 3, draws 1 to 3, and scores 1 to 3, which I do, so I can continue. Next we start sorting and aligning. I'm just going to go down the list and change what I need to, starting from the left and going right from the options across the top. We need to make sure that each file has the correct operation assigned: cut to cut, draw to draw, and score to score. Cut is the default, so for the cut files I'll instead change them to their proper color. To find out what color they need to be, you can consult the parts and instructions PDFs for the model. Note that if you don't have a scoring stylus, you can always set the score files to draw so you can still see where you need to fold. You may then also want to use a different color pen for draw and score though, as the draw files have lines indicating the fold directions and you might not be able to tell them apart otherwise. Next we need to resize them to the correct size. Each of my files should be 8.5 by 11 inches as shown in the file itself. Before you start resizing, make sure that the lock above the numbers is locked so that the aspect ratio stays the same. It should be on by default, but you should be aware of it in case you have problems with parts not fitting together later. Lastly, we adjust the position. These are the coordinates for the top left corner of the file. To lay them out nicely, I like to line them up along the top by setting the 1 files at 00, all of the 2 files at 8.50, and all the 3 files at 17.0, and so on. Organize them however is easiest for you though. If you want to put them all along the left or diagonally from the corner or in a grid, that's fine. As long as all the files with the same numbers are lined up, it will work. Now that we have everything lined up, there are a few more things we need to do. First, if you're wondering why you can't see all the score lines or part numbers, it's simply because you have your cut files on top. If you drag them down the list below the other file types, you'll be able to fix that. Next, we need to get rid of the borders and dimensions. To do that, we have to ungroup everything. Starting at the bottom and working your way up. Seriously, start at the bottom, you don't want to start at the top. Select each group and press ungroup. You have to do this for each group individually as Design Space won't do them all at once. Once that's done, you just have to select the unwanted items and delete them. Just be careful not to delete anything you need. Finally, we need to regroup them in a way that tells the machine what needs to be cut out at the same time. To do this, we select everything on a single page and select Attach. Repeat for each page and you're done and ready to cut. If you want to double check that everything is grouped together properly first though, you can do so by toggling the eyeballs on the right hand side for each page. If something isn't right, you can detach the incorrect parts and try again. Also, remember to save if you haven't been doing so. Well, that's it. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. I tried to be thorough in my explanations, but if you have any further questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye!